Inside your head right now is thousands of ideas, creative assets that could all be used for your next video idea or your next business project or just a great conversation piece to have at a first date or something like that. But in this modern world of the internet, with social media, with YouTube, with Netflix, streaming, video games, porn, it's all responsible for this phenomenon, which is just overstimulation. All those ideas that you have in your head right now, those creative assets that you could actually use to help achieve your goals, your ambitions, and your dreams in business and online business, are being suppressed by overstimulation. Like, to give you an example from my life, when I used to use social media, I was also playing video games at that time. I would also binge watch the latest Netflix series that everyone was talking about. And I made no progress in my life in terms of like business and trying to achieve my goals of being a content creator, or when I was selling prints on Shopify and I was trying to do that as a business years ago. I couldn't do any of this stuff because I was constantly saturating my brain with content, overstimulating myself constantly throughout the day. So I'd wake up, I'd go to work early in the morning, and my whole day at work was spent just working on a computer, right? I've always worked in an office-based job. So I was literally just staring at a computer screen for the whole day. And anytime I would have like 5-10 minutes free where I didn't have to do a task or I was on my lunch break, I would just whip out my phone, open up Instagram, and I would just be scrolling through Instagram Reels, scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and I was just constantly addicted to being on social media and just watching mainly like Reels and stuff like that. So I was overstimulating myself. Even in my downtime, I didn't have time to think or to come up with ideas to create videos. And then, I'd go to work, I would spend the day at work, and then I'd come home, and then I would either meet my friends or I would just hop onto GTA, right? And I would just play GTA 5, or I would maybe sit in bed, watch a film, something like that. Like every hour of my day was taken up by something content related, something that I was consuming. And the whole idea of this YouTube channel, and really my journey into self-improvement and content creation specifically, is me trying to go from someone who is a consumer to a producer. And that is kind of the way that a lot of young people, especially in the online business space, are actually starting to make quite a lot of money and are able to leave their jobs and are able to provide for their family, is through producing content, being a content creator. But to be a content creator, you have to produce content, right? You have to be able to take those ideas that you already have in your head from all those years of consuming other people's content, from all the years of consuming movies and video games. You have loads of ideas in your head. You have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of information, but those ideas are kind of unable to bubble up to the surface. You're unable to think, and you're unable to sort of bring those ideas together and actually bring them to life and produce them and give them to the world and provide value to other people, because you're constantly pushing those ideas down with new ideas, with other people's stuff, right? Like you watching this video right now, I'm hoping that this video is motivating you or educating you in some way, or just giving you insight, like, maybe a new angle to look at things, a new angle to look at your kind of daily habits. But this video you're watching right now is me giving you an idea which may or may not help you, but you already have ideas, like you already have things that you could be doing, and you know that you do. And this video is just yet another thing that's coming on top of that, right? And I'm not telling you to click off the video or anything like that. Like, you can do if you want, but that is kind of what this video is doing, right? It's just piling on top of the stuff that you already have without you bringing your own ideas to the surface. The whole modern world is just completely built around taking your attention. Social media companies and production companies that do like Netflix shows and films, they get paid from you based on how much time they can take from you, how much attention and focus they can take from you every day. And I have been a victim of this for years, and it's only in the last 2 years that I've been able to strip a lot of those content consuming habits out from my day-to-day life and actually be able to put my focus and put my ideas out into the world and to help people and to try and build a community and try and build a channel and try and work on this content creation journey that I'm on. But I've only been able to do that since getting rid of those burdens. So social media is a big one, right? Social media is something that I have been talking about so much on this channel. And I haven't had social media now for about 16 months or 17 months. And I got rid of social media because of the story that I told you at the beginning. Every 5 minutes of my day, every 20 minutes of my day would be taken up by me scrolling, doom scrolling through social media. And since getting rid of social media, I have been a lot more focused, and I've been able to just sit and think and bring those ideas that I already have up to the surface, and then put them onto paper, and then record them and edit them and put them out into the world. Something I was unable to do when I was spending all that time rather than thinking, rather than reflecting, rather than trying to create something, actually just consuming other people's stuff. So that's where I would start if I was you. If you're like me and you're kind of relating to this, where your whole day is just taken up by consumption, you know, video games or whatever it may be, that's where I would start. I think the biggest issue with people my age, around like, you know, 18 to 25, 26, is definitely social media. It's definitely doom scrolling. I would start with getting rid of your social media. If you're serious about, you know, becoming a content creator or doing an online business where you are required to take your own ideas and knowledge and put them out into the world and provide people with value and try and educate people, then you're gonna have to get rid of other ideas coming in all the time. Don't get me wrong, it's good to get valuable insights from other people. It's good to get knowledge, like reading books or watching videos like this, or being in the self-improvement space in general, I'd say, you know, on your YouTube, if you have your algorithm kind of set up, like if you're watching this, your algorithm's probably more leaning towards content creators around social media, around self-improvement, not social media. But that is a good place to start, right? Consuming that kind of content is good, but only to a certain extent. You don't want to be consuming this kind of content all day. And that's the kind of a side note, but that's a trap that I fell into with Hamza. So you probably know who Hamza is, massive self-improvement YouTuber. And I was a big fan of him, and I used to watch him all the time. In fact, I watched him way too much because I would spend all my time working, actually just sat in front of my computer watching Hamza's latest videos, rather than actually just making my own videos, right? Which is the whole point of self-improvement. You introduce to self-improvement, but then at some point you've got to stop consuming and you've actually got to start working. You've got to start being productive, because that's why you're here. You're here to like get yourself out of the current situation you're in and improve your life. And to do that is probably going to take, it's going to take some sacrifice, and you're going to have to sacrifice things that are putting other ideas into your head. So this whole thing about overstimulation, I would start off with social media, because I can guarantee that's probably the biggest issue for you right now. So what's the second sort of biggest issue that a lot of young people my age face, a lot of young guys especially? Well, it's going to be video games, unfortunately, because I love video games, and it's annoying because I used to play video games all the time, every day. And you know, I don't have anything against video games. I love playing video games. I love playing GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, you know, Elden Ring and this kind of stuff, right? I'm a huge nerd for this kind of thing, but I have to restrain myself and stop playing video games, because again, it's just constant stimulation. Every hour you get free, every 2 hours on a night, oh, I'll just hop on GTA 5 for a bit with the boys and just play a bit of GTA, play a bit of Fortnite, whatever you play, right? And again, it's overstimulation. Everyone in my age group is overstimulated with social media and video games, and you need to sort of incrementally take these out of your day-to-day life if you want to allow any space for your own ideas and your own self to come out, to actually bubble up to the surface of your brain. Otherwise, you're just going to suffer the same thing that I suffered, which is you're not going to make any progress. So really, like when I was able to start actually creating content consistently, and actually able to really focus on trying to get closer to my goals, which is to ultimately have time freedom, have financial freedom. And that all requires setting up a business. It requires providing some kind of value and some kind of product where you can get paid for it. And to do that takes a lot of work. You've got to work super hard, and you've got to work really hard without actually getting any immediate financial reward for working hard. But to do that, you need to allow yourself the focus to be able to create that thing, to actually create the videos for the channel, to actually create the community, to create the courses, to do the whole online self-improvement business thing that you're probably here to do, and you're probably like looking to do in your life right now. You're gonna have to strip out the content consumption that is just burying your ideas. So video games, social media, these are the two biggest things for me that I was able to cut out of my life in order to allow me to actually sit down and kind of just reflect and consume the content that I know I needed to consume, which was books, which was literally like blog articles, which is other people's self-improvement videos. And that's really what allowed me to kind of gain momentum and to actually build up a channel. You know, I've got to 1,300 subscribers. It's not huge, but like, you know, if you'd have asked me this question like a year ago when I was like 200 subscribers, I'd have been like, oh yeah, it's gonna take me a long time to get to 1,000 subscribers, when I was getting like 10 views per video or like 8 views per video. And now I can like easily get like 1,000 views per video. And that's a nice feeling. But to do that, I've had to sacrifice, you know, social media. So that is where I would start if I was you. And really, from all of the books that I've read and from the other self-improvement content creators and like podcasts that I've listened to, there's really only two kind of key attributes that allow people to eventually become successful, especially in online business, and that's focus and time. If you can just dedicate focus to something and then dedicate a lot of time to it, it's actually very unlikely that you're going to fail. If you give up, that's the nature of giving up, is you've failed. And if you work on something for a long time but with no focus and with no kind of drive, and you kind of just plodding along and not really that focused on it because you kind of just would rather scroll through some reels or watch the latest Netflix series, that's also going to be, it's more likely you're going to be successful that way, but it's like way less likely than if you have both, right? So you need focus and you need time. And it's interesting because focus and time is the two things that, especially social media, the companies that like run the social media platforms, that's the two things that they're taking from you, right? So Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, literally all of them are designed to take up your focus and your time, because you spend a lot of time on social media, and you know, after doom scrolling for 20 minutes, you might physically feel like mentally exhausted afterwards, and you won't be able to focus on your own stuff. And I just feel like that's why a lot of people don't end up achieving the things that they want to achieve. A lot of people have the ambition, a lot of people have the ideas, they know that they want to do better, they know that they want to create a better life for themselves, they know that they want to set up an online business or a YouTube channel, but a lot of guys don't succeed at this. And it's purely just because they're overstimulated. They're allowing every hour of the day to be taken up by something, some kind of stimulation, some kind of dopamine release, just something to do. And the last piece of advice I'll give you is allow yourself to be bored, right? If you can allow yourself to just be bored and literally do nothing and just to sit in silence, like where you could be, you know, where a time of day where you'd usually be scrolling through social media or usually playing video games, maybe just try do nothing. And it's going to be hard at first, but just try do nothing. And I guarantee something will bubble up to the surface, like an idea. You'll be like, oh, that could be a cool video idea. Maybe I'll go write it down. Maybe I'll try record it. Maybe it's going to get 10 views. It might get 1,000, right? My most popular video on my channel is the one I made about Hamza. And you can go check that out if you want. But it's my most popular video by far. It has like 150,000 views. And that was all just because I was just sat in my room, sat at this exact place with my notepad in front of me, and I was just allowing myself to be bored, right? This is usually when I would have gone on social media, when I would have, you know, fired the PS4 up and started playing that. But no, I just sat, just thought, I'm just gonna see what happens. And I just thought of that idea. I was like, oh, I guess, you know, Hamza's been a bit weird lately. I'll make a video on him, whatever. Wrote down some bullet points to talk about, hit record, filmed it, took like 20 minutes to film, and then edited it, which took like 40 minutes, so like an hour of my life gone. And that was like 150k views, and that's like what got my channel to 1,000 subscribers. That's what got me monetized, and that's what allowed me to make my first bit of money from YouTube, like all just because I allowed myself to just sit in silence and think for a little bit. So yeah, overstimulation, avoid it, right? Just get it out your life. Social media, video games, you know, just don't rely on content to be able to exist every day. Okay, bro, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope it was helpful. Hope you found it informative, insightful in any way. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.